Thank you. I now recognize the gentlelady from Arizona, Ms. Ansari.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to thank our witnesses for being here today. I'm proud to represent Arizona's 3rd Congressional District, a community of families who have been hit very hard by the cost of rising energy. At a time of rapidly increasing energy demand, it's absolutely imperative that we bring down costs and deliver economic security for Americans. However, I want to be clear, the cost of living crisis isn't happening because of some imaginary war on oil and gas. The United States is already producing more oil and gas than ever, more than any country in history. Instead of doubling down on fossil fuels, we need to prioritize a transition to clean, affordable, American-made energy. Unlike fossil fuels, which we have seen in recent years are subject to volatile global markets and price swings, clean energy provides long-term stability and allows working families to adequately budget for energy costs. There's been a lot of talk from my colleagues on the other side of the aisle about the need to protect and advance national security. The gravest existential threat to our national security is climate change. It's laughable, frankly, to hear you say that the climate crisis doesn't exist. I like to agree with the 99%.
Ask me a question and I'll explain.
No, I don't need to hear more explanation on lies. So it's actually the U.S. military establishment in the 1970s that first sounded the alarm on climate change and said that climate change is a threat multiplier to our national security. We've also heard from you about that we should not favor any type of energy, and I do agree with that, but I'm wondering why our current president has suspended new federal offshore wind, saying we're not going to do the wind thing, quote, big ugly windmills, they ruin your neighborhood. So it's just the concept of saying that we should not be going after any one form of energy while our president is doing the exact opposite.
I'm not the
as a
president.
favor
I don't agree with that policy.
So I'm talking about the actions of this administration. So
Well, that specific one I think was incorrect,
I didn't
but
ask
most
you
of
a
them are
question,
good.
sir. I'm sorry. I didn't ask
Okay,
you a
I thought you were
question.
addressing me.
So on the Phoenix City Council, I was proud to pass the city's ambitious climate action plan, unanimously start one of the most ambitious fleet transition plans in the country, all with Republican support. These initiatives were made possible by legislation such as the Inflation Reduction Act, which delivered historic levels of investment in clean energy. Arizona has gained over 18,000 clean energy jobs and nearly $12 billion in private investment related to the IRA. So with that, I'd like to turn to my questions to Dr. Cletus. Thank you again for being here. Dr. Cletus, are we seeing other states benefit from investment in clean energy? And what are things that states can do to increase their potential for economic growth?
We're seeing the benefits of clean energy all across the country. We've got more than 3 million clean energy jobs already, and the Inflation Reduction Act alone has created hundreds of thousands of jobs. We've seen these benefits, especially in the Southeast, but in every state, Nevada, Kentucky, Georgia, Florida. We've seen an incredible growth in manufacturing and jobs in this country. Now, the opportunity we have is to accelerate that transition, give people even more access to clean energy. We should not be prioritizing the interests of fossil fuel companies and their profits over the interests of the American consumers and the American people. So doubling down on fossil fuels, that only serves the fossil fuel industry. So of course they're spreading disinformation and misinformation about the climate science. They've been obstructing action on climate change for decades now, but their own scientists were the ones decades ago who said very clearly that burning fossil fuels will drive worsening climate change, and we are living in that reality right now.
Thank you so much. I could not agree more. Can you tell us a little bit more? What would divestment or taking certain energy options off of the table mean for states like Arizona, where 61% of energy jobs are clean energy jobs?
In states like Arizona, it's a twofold benefit because not only is it helping deliver clean, renewable energy, it is also helping address some of the challenges we face from extreme weather events like heat waves. Arizona has suffered from incredible, intense heat waves that have the clear fingerprints of climate change on them. And in those conditions, solar plus storage is really delivering around the country. Also in Texas, many states have seen this. When you have these extreme pressures on the grid, what can you bring online quickly and deliver reliably is not natural gas. It is solar plus storage again and again, and the data show it.
And finally, my colleagues across the aisle frequently claim that clean or renewable energy is less reliable than energy powered by fossil fuels, despite numerous studies showing that fossil fuel-fired plants are becoming increasingly unreliable. Dr. Cletus, can you comment on the reliability of clean energy versus fossil fuels?
The clean energy, flexible, modern system that we're talking about right now is one where you couple renewables with storage, you build transmission so that you have a distributed grid, you have the opportunity for both microgrids, local generation, as well as long-distance transmission, which we should be building more of. This is the flexible system of the future, instead of getting stuck in this antiquated notion of baseload. Meanwhile, we have coal-fired power plants that are retiring because of market factors. Why do we want to put a thumb on the scale and leave consumers saddled with billions of dollars to keep these outdated, polluting plants online? And let's be very clear, who's paying the costs? We are, and health costs. Those costs are not costs that companies are taking into account. They're being socialized to all of us. The asthma, the heart ailments, the lung ailments, the deaths from cancer. That's the consequence of burning fossil fuels.
Thank you so much. I yield back.